Washington Wizards and the Capitals to Virginia. Here are three things that you need to know right now. First, Virginia leaders hope to relocate the arena to a Monumental Sports Entertainment District in Alexandria by 2028. Secondly, the plan still needs to be approved by Virginia's General Assembly, but we are told the plan at this point does have bipartisan support. And lastly,
D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser says she will fight to keep teams in the district. Her team proposing a $500 million deal to keep the arena in the heart of downtown last night. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Simone D'Alba.
I'm Adam Longo. I want to show you right now some renderings of the proposed Monumental Sports Entertainment District. If all goes according to plan, leaders can break ground on this project by 2025. Of course, we have team coverage on every angle of this story. Ardelia Gonzalez is in front of Capital One Arena with more on D.C.'s response to this controversial decision.
All right, but first, let's begin with our Rafael Sanchez Cruz, who is in the Potomac Yard neighborhood where this new arena would go. Rafael, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Simone. Yeah, it's a done deal if everything goes as planned. So this land that's behind me could be the home of the Washington Capitals and Wizards. After decades of Virginia trying to get professional sports teams to come here, this might be the closest the Commonwealth has ever gotten.
This is monumental.
The owner of the Caps and Wizards has reached a deal to move the teams across the Potomac River to Alexandria.
If all of this goes as planned, we will still be a big part of the entire DMV. That is our goal. That is our commitment.
Although no official agreement has been signed, Governor Glenn Youngkin and majority owner Ted Leonsis announced a $2 billion partnership to build a 9 million square foot sports and entertainment complex in the Potomac Yard neighborhood.
This spectacular sports and entertainment district will be at the heart of the most vibrant innovation corridor in the world, a corridor that starts at Amazon HQ2 in Arlington and stretches through the Virginia Tech Innovation Campus.
The complex that is set to be built by JBG Smith will break ground by 2025 and open by late 2028. It's planned next to Metro's Potomac Yard Station and will include an arena for the Caps and Wizards, the headquarters for Monumental Sports, as well as retail space for restaurants, hotels, and community spaces. Alexandria's council and mayor have given the project their blessing.
It is an opportunity for multiple years of commercial development and investment and revenue diversification for the city. But ultimately, we're going to have to ensure that our community's voices are heard.
Youngkin's office says the investment will not result in an increase in taxes for the Commonwealth because the project will be paid for in part with bonds and an investment from Monumental. The land and buildings will be owned by Virginia's Sports and Entertainment Authority, which has yet to be established. But once it is, Monumental Sports will enter a 40-year lease with the state agency, according to the governor's plan.
And we can't emphasize it enough. This plan still requires the approval of Alexandria City Council as well as Virginia's General Assembly. So does it have the support in Richmond? Coming up at 5, we'll tell you what some lawmakers are telling you. I'm live in Potomac Yard. Rafael Sanchez Cruz, WUSA 9.
As you touched on, just the tip of a very lengthy process here still to come. Rafael, thank you. Well, protesters gathered outside Potomac Yard during the announcement from Virginia leaders. They called themselves Moms Against Monumental. They said they felt the arena would offset the area. They also complained about transparency.
You know, they come in a process never transparent. They just shock the community with this, right? And drop it on us. Where was the public consultation? When did they ask us what we need for our community, right? They represent us.
The group also mentioned that instead of arenas, they say they want more schools.
So D.C. leaders say this is not the best decision for the team, and they are strongly fighting back.
That's right. Our team coverage continues with Ardelia Gonzalez with the mayor's response and how she plans to keep the team in D.C. Delia?
Hey, Simone, here's the mayor's pitch. There aren't many benefits to not being a state, but this is a big one. She says instead of a lengthy legislative process in Virginia that she expects will have some, quote, snags, in D.C., she says they can fast track the process. Everyone is on board, including the full council on this monumental deal, and they say they can have Ted Leonsis' money in his hands by the spring. So we're talking $500 million over the next 3 years to update the 25-year-old arena. Monumental Sports now did ask for $600 million, but the mayor said this is their best and final offer now that the city CFO refinanced and found the extra borrowing money. Bowser believes Ted Leonsis was negotiating in good faith, but she says she didn't know he was interested in what she calls a suburban arena for the Wizards and Capitals. The mayor admits she's disappointed, recognizes fans likely are too, but reminds us this is just the first step in a long process, as she says Virginia Senator Mark Warner expressed earlier today. So she says, you will continue to hear me say we still have a dog in this fight. This is not over because there is a long process in Virginia. And as she said earlier, the money is available come spring. She's expecting the city council to move this legislation forward in February, vote on this bill, and have that money available in the spring. Again, $500 million over the next 3 years. So the ball really is in Monumental's court, a sprawling suburban arena, which she says comes with traffic, or an urban arena that she says comes with city life, culture, experiences, restaurants, but we cannot ignore the rise in crime in downtown DC, and that could have played an impact here. So what's the mayor's vision for downtown if the Wizards and Capitals end up leaving Capital One? What's the big picture for downtown? How devastating will this be? I'll have that side of the story, including reaction from the business community at 5 o'clock. I'll see you then.
And real quick, I want to ask you a question. We've got to just call it like it is here, right? Are we feeling that, like now that DC and this renovation of Capital One Arena is a fallback plan if things don't go according to plan in the Virginia General Assembly? The mayor saying she could have that money ready by the spring. General Assembly could approve this whole thing by the spring.
Yeah, no doubt. The mayor has a plan B. She has a task force in place to look at how they would reimagine the 5 acres of Capital One Arena should the Monumental Sports move to Virginia. However, as you heard me mention earlier, she says because Senator Ted Warner echoed the fact that this is just the first step in what she expects to be a lengthy process, she still believes that there is hope for D.C.
All right, we will see. Time will tell. Delia, thank you. Want to take a moment now and look back at the history, the lengthy history, almost a quarter century of Capital One Arena. Let's take a look back at the history of Capital One Arena. It was first known as the MCI Center, and it opened up 26 years ago, back on December 2nd, 1997. MCI had the naming rights until 2006. Now, in 1999, Ted Leonsis took control of the arena and full ownership of the Washington Capitals, Wizards, Mystics, and the Capital City Go-Go. Then, January 2006, Verizon Communications acquired the naming rights, and that's when it became the Verizon Center. On June 10, 2010, Leonsis created Monumental Sports Network. It is the only privately held company in one of the United States' biggest 10 metropolitan areas to own and operate 4 professional sports teams and its arena. In August of 2017, Capital One Bank took over the rights, and the arena became known as Capital One Arena.
Look, we know a lot of you have opinions here, and we want to share some of that. So here's some of the tweets that you all are sending in. So this one says, these are Washington teams. Let them stay in D.C., Virginia, Commonwealth. Back off, in all caps. That is from Nadine. This one says, I will never attend another Wizards or Caps game if they move to Virginia. Leonsis is shaming Abe Pollin's legacy of having a positive impact in the district. How much money is enough for this guy? That's Brian in Columbia, Maryland. And let's do this one. I'm all caps here. No, I don't support moving to Virginia. Washington Caps is the name. Washington Wizards already took our football team to Maryland. Where's DC's team? So we want to continue hearing your response. We know a lot of you have many opinions about this. We want to hear them. What are your thoughts about the plan to bring DC sports to Virginia? Text us your response at 202-895-5599, and we may be showing your answer on the air.
Yeah, you know, Simone, we had a very telling response from that woman we just heard from who was protesting there in front of the proposed site. We have yet to hear from a large constituency in Alexandria if they'll accept this move. Of course, the city council there will have to approve it. We will be closely watching that moving forward. Of course, our coverage on this monumental move doesn't stop here. Ahead on the news at 5, we're looking into the next steps and if this plan has a chance of being approved. Remember, multi-layers of approval in multiple different jurisdictions have to happen. Also, if these two teams do leave the city, what's going to happen to the other teams? We are going to look at the contract statuses of the Washington Nationals and the Commanders. We'll, of course, be staying on top of this very closely in the coming days and weeks. As soon as we get updates, bam, they're going to be there at WUSA9.com and on our WUSA9 app. You can also watch all of our reporting. It is streaming right now on WUSA 9 Plus.